Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to use another 12 by 12 template from Jess Crafts at jesscrafts.com, and Jess has wonderful templates for using up your pattern paper to make A2 cards, slimline cards, numerous different cards. And so I decided to pull this one out because it's a fairly simple template and it makes 6 cards, but I pulled in 2 pieces of pattern paper, so I'm going to make 12 cards. Now I've decided to use images and sentiments from this Gina K Designs Playful Penguins set. Sorry about that glare. And I'm using this sentiment that says it's penguining to look a lot like Christmas, and this one that says hope your holidays are cool. And I do have the coordinating dies for this stamp set, which will make it much easier to cut them out. I will be using my VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink to stamp my images, and my VersaFine Clair Morning Mist to stamp my sentiments. Now I am going to be watercoloring my images. I'm bringing in my Mission watercolors, and there they are. And as you can see, I have swatched them so I kind of know what colors I have, what they look like on paper. And I'll be using Canson XL watercolor paper. Now the pattern paper I've decided to use is this white Christmas pattern paper, which is by Recollections, another hot buy, and I did have this in my stash. And there's just so many beautiful papers here. I'll just flip through real quickly and kind of show you, like they have some pretty tags that I already have an idea for another sketch I can use those for. So I did pick out my pattern papers, and I'm choosing to use this one and this one. And then I'll just be using some gray cardstock I had in my stash by Recollections as well. Now I've gone ahead and cut out my pattern paper and my cardstock, and I decided instead of using that circle for the image and sentiment, I just used my Cricut and cut out of white cardstock this shape, and then did a slightly bigger version in the gray cardstock that I'm using. And I am using that same gray cardstock to mat my strips of paper and my 4 by 5 1/4 pieces of paper. And then I'll add those to a top folding card base. So I've gone ahead and added my sentiments to my mini Misty, and I put in this sticky mat that I had in my stash as well to make it a little bit easier. That way I don't have to worry about getting the magnets placed just right on the white cardstock. I'm just going to place them in here and ink up my sentiments with the VersaFine Clair Morning Mist. And I chose that for this sentiment because I thought it went well with the gray cardstock. That way it wasn't standing out as much as the black would, but still you were able to see the sentiment clearly. And I am going to stamp it twice because while I like the color it comes out that way, I want it a little bit darker gray. And see, there you have it. Then I just remove these from the sticky mat. Alright, now that I have my sentiments stamped, I am going to attach them to the matte panel that I cut out in the same shape. And I will attach them just using some art glitter glue. All right, so let me put one of these cards together real quickly. So again, I am just using my liquid glue, running very little across the back of this strip, and then I am just placing it centered on the matte piece. And I did cut this strip so it'll run all the way across the 4 by 5 1/4, so I'll be trimming these edges off. So I've gone ahead and set up my images in my Misty, and I'm going to be using VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink. And then I'll be heat embossing that with my Simon Says Stamp Fine Detail Clear Embossing Powder. So let's get started. All right, now that I've got my images heat embossed, I can start my watercoloring. And let me show you my little bowls. This is a little, I guess it was like a condiment tray. My sister gave it to me either for my birthday or for Christmas a couple years ago. My birthday's a couple days before Christmas, so sometimes the line is blurred. But I'm using this so that I can have my dirty water and a couple of clean waters as backups. And then I'm going to use my Mission watercolors. Where are they? Now I did go ahead and stamp all my sentiments and place them on the gray mats. So the 2 sentiment choices I have are "It's penguining to look a lot like Christmas" and "Hope your holidays are cool." Now this one I did stamp off to the side so that I could put one of the penguin images next to it. And as you can see, I did color lots of little penguins to add to my cards. And here you have my completed cards using jesscrafts.com template number 3, as well as Gina K Designs Playful Penguins images. I really like the way that the little bit of color just brightens up these gray cards. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribed to my YouTube channel or followed me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye!